Good evening, ma'am. Hello. Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, if the people are ready, we can start. Are you able to
Yes.
see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's visible, ma'am. I'll just start, ma'am. So a very good evening to one and all. I, Preeti Vats, cordially welcome you all to the day 19th of Krishi Manthan on the broad theme, Technical Advances Leading to Smart Farming and Agripreneurship, which is a 30 days international winter school training program. So these 30 days international winter school training program is organized by Utkarsh PDKV Agribusiness Incubation Center, which caters the need and modalities for the agribusiness promotion, a revamped Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, RKVY Raftar, which was launched in 2017-18 by with a component for innovation and agripreneurship. This organization, with the great vision of empowerment of youth with their own agribusiness leading sustainable livelihood and a mission for agribusiness-based rural ecosystem development. Sorry, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay.
So with this, we have Dr. Punjab Rao Deshmukh Krishi Vidyapeeth University, Akola. This institution was established on 20th October 1969 with its headquarters at Akola. This instructional program at main campus has spread over 5 colleges, namely College of Agriculture, Engineering and Technology, College of Forestry, College of Horticulture and Postgraduate Institute. This institute has a prospective plan to grow into a center of excellence through new initiatives by creating world-class infrastructure, expanding international collaborations, developing innovative programs, establishing industrial tie-ups, recruiting well-qualified and trained faculty, and promoting the talent. It creates an environment for to access the experienced teaching faculty who are well qualified with their international exposure to nurture the students. In collaboration with these two institutions, we have Just Agriculture, the magazine. Just Agriculture is India's largest agri-edutech platform with 7 lakh plus readers and 55,000 plus LinkedIn community. It offers a great platform to share about the latest agri-innovations. Within a span of 2 years, Just Agriculture collaborated with India's most reputed government agricultural institutions like ICRISAT, NAARM, NIPHM, Manage Hyderabad, IRRI, PGTSAU, MPUAT Udaipur, NAHEP, VNMKV Prabhani, Utkarsh Business Incubation Center, Dr. PDKV Akula, Dr. RPCAU Pusa, SKUST Kashmir, NIFTM Haryana, and many more private institutions. Now, beginning with the conference, about the conference, let me tell you this emerging agricultural trends and innovations imply new technologies and strategies that get more sophisticated with time. The agriculture sector has undergone significant changes over the previous several decades, and new technologies have also expanded in this sector. Agricultural recent advancements have made farming activity more acceptable and comfortable for the farmers. So the agenda of this international conference is to congregate an array of researchers, academicians, plant scientists, experts, agriculturists, horticulturists, scientists, botanists, biotechnologists, industrialists, PhD and postgraduate students to discuss their views, recent findings of research and case studies from around the world in concurrent sessions, as well as providing numerous networking and collaboration opportunities. So with this brief background, now let's move towards the first session of the day. So let me invite, for the first session, let me invite our guest of the day, Mrs. Arvinda Garikipati. So before inviting ma'am to deliver her talk, I would like to introduce ma'am to our participants. So ma'am is a seasoned chartered accountant with over 17 years of extensive experience in tax and advisory services. Her professional journey has been marked by a diverse skill set and a steadfast commitment to ethical business practices. Arvinda ma'am has constantly invested in continuous learning and development, acquiring certificates in international taxation. Her expertise tends to navigate global tax regulators, anti-money laundering laws, and embracing concepts like ESG and business responsibility and sustainability report, showcasing a dedication to responsible conduct of business and its sustainability. Beyond her professional practice, ma'am serves as a strategic advisor to MSME Business Forum India in Delhi. Additionally, she contributes as a member to the Direct Tax Committee at FTCCI Hyderabad, where she has served for 2 consecutive years. Throughout her tenure, Arvinda ma'am has provided constructive suggestions that have thoughtfully considered by finance ministry. Her skills in policy formulation and decision makings with multifaceted financial landscapes. A notable milestone in ma'am's career, her appointment as a first chartered accountant by MSME Arbitration Council, Rangareddy region in an expert advisory role. Her expertise mainly lies in income tax advisory services, tax assessments, appeals, NRE taxation, and addressing foreign tax credit issues and tax structuring, etc. Ma'am is enthusiastic about the opportunity to bring her wealth of experience and diverse skill set to any esteemed organization and contribution to its growth and success. So with this background, now I would like to invite ma'am to the podium. So ma'am, we are more than happy to have you here today. It is my humble request that you please join us on the podium and address our participants.
Thank you so much, Preeti, for the elaborative explanation regarding your organization of Just Agriculture and even about me. Thank you so much. I look forward to have a fruitful session with all of you all. Okay, we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
around
Over to you,
121
ma'am.
participants, right? So, how many are you from
Yes,
the
ma'am.
rural area? How many women are participating in the current session today? Any idea?
Ma'am, actually, I think we'll be having maybe like 40 to 50% will be
Perfect.
women, ma'am.
Done.
Like
So,
there'll
because I
be
just want to
50, yeah.
understand the participant, because the topic is regarding the agriculture to the women-led startup. So, that's the reason. So, there is no harm, no
Okay, ma'am.
reservation or no harm in the men being participating the same, because they are the one who has to encourage the women in their family. Either it can be a mother, sister, or a wife, or in either capacity where they can help the women to achieve their dreams. Let's go into the topic directly.
Yes, ma'am.
Today, let please interrupt me if I'm very fast. The area of discussion regarding the current topic today is what is the role of agriculture in the Indian economy, which many of us already know, but I will give you a brief introduction of the same. What is the current scenario of women in the business? What is the need of women entrepreneurs in the rural areas? What about the agri startups? Importance of the women in the agriculture and the agri business is concerned. What are the challenges the women is facing to enter into the entrepreneurship journey? And what are the opportunities for them, and how to use the various opportunities available with them to by overcoming the challenges, and what are the government schemes available for the women who wants to start their business in the agri area. In the recent G20 summit, which was held in the New Delhi is concerned, a declaration has been made regarding the affordable food for all. Food is the requirement, which is it should be safe, nutritious, and it should be affordable. That can be done only when the agriculture industry is very effectively utilized by all the people, and more people and the young generation has to come into the business, so that agriculture doesn't mean only the farming is concerned. There are other areas beyond the regular farming, which I will explain you in the coming slides. So it is the unless we have the market access and all these things in place, the involvement of the women may not be possible, because there are several shortcomings which a woman has to undergo to achieve their entrepreneurship journey. What is the current scenario of the women? What is the participation percentage of the women vis-a-vis the men in the business or in the agriculture industry is concerned? According to the official data, India has been positioned 57 out of the 65. So we are in the bottom line of the list, where the women entrepreneurs are reflecting in the global business. That means it's a need of a concern for all the women to come up and to start their entrepreneurship journey, so that it will not only help them personally, but it also help for the overall growth of their family and even for the economy is concerned. In India, as per 2021, only 0.3% venture capital funding is being provided to the women entrepreneurs out of the total funding. That shows the mindset of the venture capitalist to come forward to provide financing to the women. As per the survey conducted in 2022 by the some non-profit NPO, it is regarding the 85% of the women entrepreneurs are being faced with the difficulties with regard to the getting the loans from the PSUs. The government schemes are so such that they are encouraging the women to come up and get the loans. But at the ground level is concerned, unfortunately, majority of the bankers are not willing to provide the loans to the women entrepreneurs or for the agriculture industry, which is led by the women. What is the need of the women entrepreneurship in rural areas in particular? Because in the urban areas is concerned, at least there is a better percentage of population of the women in the entrepreneurship and even in the employment compared to the rural areas because of various reasons. According to the survey, one survey, the women comprises around 33% of the agricultural labor force and 48% of the self-employed farmers in India are for the women, are women. So there is a huge potential and scope for the women to come forward and to make to the next level in their journey, so that it will reduce the unemployment and the overcrowding of the people in the urban areas. Nowadays, most of the people are coming to the urban areas because of lack of employment opportunities and other facilities in the rural areas. If the women in the rural areas come up with the entrepreneurship skills like which related to the agriculture is concerned, then the unemployment can be reduced and even the growth of the rural areas will be more compared to the urban areas, so that the decentralization can happen. If it is centralized, the growth is happening in a centralized way, it will actually unfortunately leads to various issues. Even the real estate or whatever the name you call, if it is centralized, it will create an unnecessary population of huge people at the same place. It creates so many issues like pollution, huge expenses regarding the cost of living, and everything will get increased. And women entrepreneurs plays a vital role for creating the employment to the other women, fellow women. Generally, the women tend to give employment to the other women, so that because they know the practical issues which the other women may face, to come forward for the employment is concerned, which will in turn accelerate the development of the economy. Regarding the agri startup is concerned, the connectivity with the product in the rural areas is more, because it is in the rural areas is the place where the agricultural produce is being produced, so that the raw material can be acquired directly from the farm itself, so that the cost of the transportation and all will be reduced and you can get the better quality of the products across the farm. Women in the horticulture helps us to helps for the agri related business, which can in turn help the income, better income of the women and the standard of living of the family. If the women come forward for the entrepreneurship in the rural areas, it can be even for the or livestock or with the farms or all things, so that the poultries or can be started at the rural areas itself, so that the more employment can be provided to the women over there. And there is also a huge need for the training facilities to be provided in the rural areas so that the women can be empowered with the facilities available to them across the place. And also the financial facility should be provided by the bankers and through various government schemes. The government also should provide facilitation centers at the rural areas, which can help them to nurture them. As we discussed in the earlier slides regarding the centralization and decentralization, the diversification of the rural areas is possible only when the is adequate employment opportunities and adequate development in the rural areas, which can help them to develop in the area itself instead of moving from one area to another area. The environmental sustainability is also possible only if there is a diversification of the rural areas and the sustainable way of sustainable methods are followed for the produce. There are several practices and traditions which is followed in the rural areas, which can be preserved and can be transferred to the next generation only if the rural area is being developed. Otherwise, what will happen? The people in the rural areas migrate from the rural areas to the urban areas. So the traditions which are followed from years together, ages together, will get overlapped with the procedures followed in the urban areas, which in turn will make the our traditions wind up. It is not a correct practice because it is our responsibility to carry our traditions and practices over the generations so that it can be used and preserved by all the people, irrespective of the way of tradition which we follow. What is the agri startups in India? The NABARD is the one which will generally provide the funding to the people who are interested in setting up the agri startups is concerned. If you see the sustainable SDGs of the UN Sustainability Development Goals, there are 70 sustainable development goals which has been set up, which has been adopted by the UN at United Nations and has to be achieved by 2030 as per the current target is concerned. India is also part of the same. So as per the SDG 13 is concerned, which is regarding the climate action is concerned. Climate action can be done in only if the agriculture industry is being taken care of and the produce is done in a sustainable manner. And the World Bank is also providing so much of funds and even various international funds and even by the developed countries are providing funds to set up the agri business industries and the startups, because which in turn will help the climate and saving the and protecting the climate of the country. In 2020, the Reserve Bank has mandated the banks to categorically to issue 50 crores towards the agri startups itself as a priority sector lending. The PSL is the one area where the banks will be mandatory to issue the loans to the organizations, and the agriculture startups has been given the importance and it has been forming part of the PSL category is concerned. ICRISAT, Nidhi, Triple S, and agri startups as part of this are created exclusive funds so that the agri startups new innovation ideas can be developed and can be implemented in the rural areas and even in the urban areas is concerned. There are several awareness programs and organizations are taking active part these days to empower the people and to adopt sustainable practices, and also it is helping through the e-commerce platforms and all these things so that the traders, retailers, producers and even the exporters will be interlinked. And even ONDC is one of the platform which is developed by the government of India, which is similar to the Amazon is concerned, where the cost of posting your products on the ONDC is much cheaper compared to the Amazon and the Flipkart. And the SIDBI and the MSME forums are helping the people to get boarded onto the ONDC is concerned. What is the why there is the importance for the women's participation in agri? As we already mentioned, the percentage of the women in agriculture sector is very huge. If they are able to participate in the agricultural activities more in a better way, it can actually help in so many ways. One is regarding the food security is concerned. There are so many people, even as on date, who are sleeping with hunger that can be mitigated. I cannot say it cannot be override over a day, but it can be reduced to such an extent so that the food security will be provided to all the people so that everyone will get a one meal at least, which is a complete meal. Can be possible only if the produce is done in such a way that the government should be provided with the adequate production of the food. Economic development. Regarding in the recent vibrant Gujarat summit, which was held in the last week of last week, where the Honorable Finance Minister has clearly mentioned that but by 27-28, the the Indian economy will touch the 5 trillion GDP, which can be possible only if the agriculture industry is developed. It is not the software industry or the other manufacturing industry alone can make this possible unless the major sector being the agriculture develops and make a push. The 5 trillion economy is not possible. And at the same time, it is not impossible if the agriculture industry is growth at a faster rate. Rural development. As we discussed regarding the rural centralization and decentralization is concerned, the rural development can happen if the agriculture industry is developed. So that the women in the family can be a helping hand to the men, which can help them in getting better resources and better funds for the betterment of their family, so that the debts can be reduced and their children can have a better education facilities and a better hospital facilities, and infrastructure can be developed in the rural areas, provided the agricultural industry is developed in the rural area. Innovation and sustainability. Innovation is the area which is possible in every area. Regarding the produce is concerned, agricultural produce is concerned, even there also there are few farmers who use a different way to get the produce at a faster rate, or they use the machinery in such a way which is an innovative way, where the cost of the machinery is at a cheaper compared to the one which can be purchased at the branded names. And sustainability is the area which the can I be little slow?
Ma'am, actually to me it's fine. I guess somebody is trying to say something. Hello.
Ravindra Singh, I think. Mr. Ravindra?
Maybe ma'am, it's by
Okay,
maybe ma'am, it's just
okay.
by mistake. No issues,
Yeah,
ma'am. Please
sure. Thank you.
continue.
Thank you so much. Sorry. Regarding the sustainability is concerned, the entire world is behind the sustainability is concerned, because it is not you alone who has made the world. So there are many other creatures and many other people apart from you, which has to be sustained in the society beyond you and even after you, along with you. So you cannot spoil the environment for your selfishness or for your self requirements. So the soil or the material or the produce which you are going to produce, or even the pollute which you are getting created because of the industry, should be at the minimum. Even the carbon credits and all these things are being part of this. Even for the listed companies these days, because of the sustainability is concerned, the BRSR reporting is become mandatory for the top 100 companies is concerned, because they have to mention clearly. There are 9 principles in that, where they have to mention what is the percentage and what is the amount spent towards their goals, and how better they are working compared to the earlier years. The gender equality. Okay, so as per the 21 is concerned, around 40% in India is working, women population is working. We have, sorry, around 48.5% is the women population as per the 2021 census is concerned. So unless the women participate actively and seriously, the economy cannot be sustained. Because if only 52% is working and 48 is not working, not properly working, or not contributing to the economy, it is next to impossible for any country to grow. India, being a developing economy, has to grow to the developed economy at any cost in the next coming years, can be possible only if the women participates in the growth of the economy. As per the economic climate resilience, as we are mentioning, one of the point regarding the climate change and all these things, as per the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, we have to take the decisions based on the available resources and how to use the resources effectively, and what are the education and the skill development activities, and how the coming generations has to use the resources in a proper way, so that the output will be maximum and the input will be the minimum. Social sustainability is the concept where the reducing of the poverty, improving the standard of living, and more equitable distribution of the funds. Let's say it can be the wages paid to the women vis-a-vis the men. So, as the woman is equally able to perform the task as against the men, the payment towards the wages and all these things should be on par with the men, because unless there is the gender disparity has been reduced, it is not possible for the women to come forward to work in the working environment. If the agriculture industry is developed in India, then India will become the country where it can produce for the entire country, entire world, and even the exports can be improved in such a way that it will be the place capital of food capital for the entire world. Nutritional diversity. Nutrition is the place where we everyone will read in our childhood that we should have a nutritious meal, and we should have full meal which contains all the proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, and all these things. Unfortunately, even in the urban or in the rural areas, only few are fortunate enough to get the nutritional meal. This can be possible only if there is a diversification of the crops, and more agricultural land is being produced, and more sustainable way of produce is being produced by the farmers, and the usage of the pesticides and all should be minimized, so that the quality of the product will be ensured. This can be possible only if the people in the rural areas are being educated accordingly and being given opportunity to diversify their crops with the providing the minimum market value for all the farmers, so that they can try and test various ways of getting the produce done. What are the challenges generally a woman will face? Yes, Mr. Ravi Prakashji. Hello,
Yes,
Mr. Ravi
ma'am.
Prakashji.
Mr. Ravi Prakash, if you have any query, just put in the chat box, please.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. So, let it be let. Okay, what are the challenges generally a woman will face if to become either to become be part of the employment or to become as an entrepreneur is concerned? So generally it is the family structure or the culture, particularly in rural areas is concerned, it will be the joint family where the woman will be end up with working like anything from morning to night, and you will not be provided any extra time where they can come out of the out of the house to work on. It's gender bias and social stereotypes. Even till date, even today also, there will be some families and in some villages where the woman will be considered as a person who has to stay at home and take care of the kids and the family, and they are not supposed to step out for working. In such cases, it is not possible for the women to come out and to start any new entrepreneurship or even for the employment. Access to the funding, as I told you, it is hardly 0.5% or less than 1%, which is being provided as a funding by the venture capitalists towards the startups created by the women. In such a scenario, it will be next to impossible for the women to come out, because there is no business which can be started everything with the entire own funds. Even the bigger organizations can be started only with a part of them will be their personal capital, and the balance will be from the loans taken from the friends, banks, and from various parties and financial institutions. So, unless the people are being provided with access to the funding is concerned, it will not be possible for the women to start their entrepreneurship journey. Work life balance. If you take the employment is concerned, it can be a 9 to 5 job or 10 to 7 job, or there will be fixed timings is concerned in general. But when it comes to the business is concerned, there is no end time for the business. So whenever the customer or any issue has been raised, you have to attend the same, and you cannot afford to leave it in for days together. So considering that scenario, there will be a few people where they consider that the work-life balance will get affected, and they are hesitant to start the entrepreneurship journey. Proper guidance and mentorship. The people in the rural areas and even in the urban areas needs to be guided properly. The way based on their interest and based on the market demands, it has to be considered, and they should be given proper training and facilities so that they can nurture them and get into the entrepreneurship business. Accessibility of information and networking. As I told you in the first 2 points, there are few families even till date where the accessing of the information and networking is next to impossible because of the various conditions in their family structures. They are not allowed to have access to the other, they cannot be able to meet the people regularly outside, or they will not be provided with the information which is mandatory or recommendatory to start up a business, because unless you know the market conditions and the facilities and the connecting people who can help you and the completing the process of your entrepreneurship, it is next to impossible to start the business. Access for better education and training facilities. In the rural areas and even the urban areas also, the training facilities to the women needs to be provided so that they should be encouraged at the school and the college level itself to become an entrepreneur. Is how we say other things. Risk taking capacity. There is a myth or there is a general belief that the risk taking capacity generally will be less for a woman compared to the men is concerned because of various reasons, of the because of their family background, or the people, the area they were, the way they were brought up, or due to the previous experiences and all these things, and due to lack of funding facilities and all these things, the risk taking capacity will be limited to a woman compared to the men is concerned. Limited access to resources, knowledge management of the government scheme. There are so many government schemes which unfortunately most of the women don't know that they are eligible for the same unless they apply on their own to the government or to the bankers. No one will give them the funds or anything. So, which the women are generally not been aware of. Had they been educated on these areas, they would have be able to get the access of this information, and the funding is concerned, they can be in a better stage. Ownership rights. Generally, even in the rural areas and the urban areas is concerned, the land and the bank accounts will be jointly held both by the husband and the wife, and by the brother or sister, or with the wife and the husband. But unfortunately, the woman will neither have the information, nor have the access, nor have the right over this, and everything will be taken care by the husband in the family, unless you have the ownership. Suppose if you are starting a new entrepreneurship, and where you have to get a loan for which you have to either mortgage your property or something, right? So unless you have been given and allowed in your family to keep the documents with the banker, you will not be provided with the loans. And very few families where the husband will allow the wife to keep those documents and to get a loan for her own entrepreneurship journey, unless that support is there from the family, the from the men in the family. It will not, it is not a easy one to get the funding from the government schemes or from the private parties for the women to start their business and even for their expansion also. So let's talk. We have discussed about the challenges is concerned. So let's talk about the positive sides of the. What are the opportunities which a woman can think of in the rural areas and even in the urban areas regarding the agriculture is concerned? There is not producing the agriculture. Agricultural produce is not only the option. There are various other ways which the women can start their own entrepreneurship journey in this area. Organic farming. Nowadays, most people are very conscious about the food they are eating. So organic farming is one area where they can produce the agricultural produce using the organic methods, either in their farmland or even in their places where from their apartments also. Livestock farming. A small scale poultry can be started so that it can go to the next level at a future point of time. To start with, they can start with the minimum investment and where it can be expanded and move to the next level. Agro-tourism. There is a concept even shown in few of the films also. There is a weekend farming and all these things. Nowadays, people in the cities are intended or tended inclined to have the weekend over in a cool, calm place away from the pollution and all these things. So, agricultural tourism is the place where you can start a farmland with a house and all these things, where the farm stays will be possible over the weekends, and which will be provided with the all the facilities which a rural area will have, not the which the urban areas generally will have. Value added food processing like jams, juices, and you can try the products like the ginger, mango, and all these things using the solar power, and you can use it as a powder and can be used over the year based on the capacity using your FSSAI license, food security license is concerned, and even you can export those food products also. Floriculture is regarding the flowers is concerned, where you can tie up with the event managers and other people, and using you can produce your flowers in the rural areas, and you can export it or transport it to the urban areas based on the event management, because even when you see any functions are being conducted, there are lot of requirement for the flowers which can be taken care using the floriculture business is concerned. Aquaculture is the one which is using for the fish farming, prawn farming, and all these things, which can be done in the rural areas is concerned, which the women can start. Bee culture regarding the honey production and pollination services. There are people who are there are several organizations which are producing or helping the farmers in collecting the honey production from the rural areas, which is through the organic methods. Agtech farming. It is regarding the integration of the technology with agriculture and using the sensor, drones, and all these things. Because nowadays the drone industry is also growing faster, where the women can think of and start the business, and through the drones, they are the fertilizers will be done, fertilization will be done, and all these things can be done using the drone technology by the women entrepreneurs. Herbal medicine cultivation. There are as regard similar to the organic farming is concerned, there is a Ayurvedic industry which is being also developed nowadays more faster than compared to the earlier days, where you have a scope where you can produce the herbal products and you can manufacture them based on the customization requirement and all these things, and you can use and you can start your entrepreneurship journey. Sustainable agriculture consulting. There is a regarding the crop rotation, soil strength, sustainable practices, where you can start a professional services by educating the farmers in the rural areas, where you can help them in getting innovative ways or a sustainable ways, so that they can get a better produce for them and better market rates in the market. Agricultural training is concerned, where you can educate the rural area. Agricultural training is concerned where you can help the people to educate them on the importance of the agricultural industry for the economy is concerned, and to teach the farmers the best way using the fertilizers is concerned, the organic farming, and what are the various options available with them apart from the agriculture is produce is concerned with the bee farming or the aquaculture, or regarding the sorry, fruits and changing in the change sorry regarding the agricultural training is concerned, where you can help the people to educate them where is the options available for them and where is the best methods followed across the globe, which can help them in getting more revenue vis-a-vis the efforts they keep. Dairy farming, where The small scale dairy farming can be done, or even the medium scale based on the nature. Along with the agricultural produce, the farming is also farming. You can done parallelly. The dairy farming is concerned, which generally is the normal nomenclature followed in any rural areas where everyone will have some cows or buffaloes, which can help them in getting the milk, and which will be distributed across the people within the village, or some will even transport it to the cities, nearby cities. And even the agricultural products like the ghee and all these things can also be produced along with the milk. Agricultural waste recycling. There are some agricultural producers which have the huge wastage, like the like if you take the sugar cane is concerned, it will can convert it into molasses, and all these things will come into picture. There will be few items where the the wastage of the products will be more, and if you don't recycle it properly, it will create the air pollution. So and even you can use the recyclable products by using the things, and you can make a better products which are can be used like the jute bags and all these things. Also with the recycled paper will be there, recycled plastic will be there, which can be used as a some of the industry products which can be used as a gifts or something. Agri clinic is similar to the regular, not like a regular clinic, where the clinic will provide the soil protection procedures, soil capacity, cropping practices, and all these things. What are the services which generally a farmer has to do? Post harvest services will be done. Agri business centers. There will be ventures to train the agricultural professionals, because if you see all the above areas where there is a huge scope for the persons to educate the people to start these practices, and also it is not possible for one person or one organization to be available across all the country. So these agri business centers can help the people to educate them and to make them into better places, so that they can start their own ventures in the rural areas or in the urban areas, which can help them to start their own entrepreneurship journey instead of looking for the job opportunities. It is a self-employment opportunity for them. Vertical farming is the place where in the urban areas is concerned, it is where you don't have much spaces. With the limited space and the limited resources, they will use the farming techniques, and they will have their agricultural produce done on the rooftops of the apartments, or in the places where they have in the colonies and all these things. These are some of the opportunities which the women can think of. Not only the women is concerned, even the men can think of in the rural areas and in the urban areas, to have the tie-up with the people who are working in these areas, so that they can get the self-employment done instead of waiting for some employment opportunities. And these are the areas which does not require huge educational qualifications. They just need the common sense and the procedures and the traditions and practices which is being adopted or followed in the particular areas and in the particular organization and industry is concerned. These are the few of the government schemes which are available particularly to the women who want to start their business in the agricultural area is concerned. Dina Shakti scheme, Mahila Kisan MKSP is the one which is as a part of the Deen Dayal Antyojana Yojana. The government is giving special benefits and special loans at a concessional rates, where the women can approach the nearby bankers who are lending loans in the agriculture area is concerned, can ask their bankers and ask them for the respective loans and the eligibility is concerned. Stand Up India scheme is available for the agriculture, even for the women in the agricultural business and all the other areas also. Mahil Koyer Ojana, it is regarding the jute is concerned, credit guarantee fund trust of the micro and small enterprises, where the funds will be provided to the women at a concessional rates. Ujjam Shakti, if someone wants to start up a MSME or something, is the medium and small, micro and small scale industries is concerned, apart from the startup is concerned, there they have to get the registration done through the Aadhaar Ujjam portal limited. And even if it is established as a MSME or SME, they will get the benefits from which the SME is eligible for. Apart from this scheme, there are so many schemes which are eligible for even for the men and the women who wants to start the SME unit using the agricultural produce is concerned or in the agricultural industry is concerned. They can use the schemes. Yes, if anyone has any questions or something, then we get anything to discuss, we can take it. Or if any questions, Preeti ji?
Uh, Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for a wonderful session. And sometime what happens is for women, especially, when they're starting a business or some kind of things, we do not have any kind of idea like where to start with. So you just could ignite our minds like these are the things which we can start also, and the other things associated with that. So thank you so much for igniting young minds as well as women in the chat box in the group. So thank you so much for a wonderful session. It was worth listening to you, ma'am, and we are very thankful to you. So I am just putting the chat box and enabled so that if any participant is having any doubt or if they want to talk to you, they can directly unmute themselves and chat also.
Thank you, Preeti. Dr. Pratibha Tiwari. Yes, Pratibha ji.
Dr.
Good
Dr.
evening,
Pratibha,
madam.
ma'am. Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. It was a very thought-provoking, brainstorming, very nice lecture.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. I want to share one of my experiences in working with rural women, ma'am.
Please.
We are working with rural women for entrepreneurship development. It is a Department of Science and Technology sponsored project. I am working in Indian Council of Agricultural Research at Central Arid Zone Research Institute. We initiated entrepreneurship amongst women under a project doubling farm women's income through
Okay.
post-harvest processing. We initiated work with customization of their farms, where whatever technology we have at the institute, we integrated that technology on their farms. And then women, when they got their produce, raw material was available. We trained them, united them into 10 self-help groups, and promoted them for taking FSSAI licensing. We gave them several rounds of trainings and a small startup also to initiate their work for food processing. And now, after 3 years of regular working with them, they are now having their own labels, their own products. We did processing of millets with them because pearl millet is grown in our area abundantly. And since
Okay.
it was the year of millets also, International Year of Millets was there. So we used that opportunity. And now some of our self-help groups, they are earning an income of around 8 lakhs, 9 lakhs. They have participated in G20. The best
That's great.
point of my intervention is that the women are getting employment at doorstep. They don't
True.
have to leave their family responsibilities, which is natural responsible, child care, rearing,
Yes.
and then
That's
animal
part of our
care.
system.
They cannot be separated from this. And the second best thing is that the existing structure of kitchen, that can be used for entrepreneurship. Even if we
Yes.
don't give them startup, the existing structure is sufficient to generate income. Only thing is that the training, the
Yes.
mobilization, the
Awareness.
channeling of women into main entrepreneurship, So post-harvest processing has done a very good job. We have participated in G20, we have participated in IITF, and to my satisfaction, women are now uh, mm, appreciating. They have confidence in themselves, and now always when a researcher is doing some research, he's always um, he's little bit confused whether people will invest on that technology or not. But the farmers, they took our technology very positively, and now 10 satellite processing centers we are running. And farmers have now, after earning, women after earning through these exposures, now spend on buying the machines. Yesterday only, we bought a small bakery and a unit for making this save and bhujia kind of thing. So this is one
Okay.
of the best things that within existing structures we can do. We can provide them employment at the doorstep, and these women then only the doors are closed. They come up so well. Now they are able to do payment through QR codes. They know FSSAI, they know MSME. And now, since you are at a very nice position working, I invite you to come to our area and visit our centers. Even Doordarshan Kisan has come. And madam, it will be really satisfying to you. I have submitted this technology to ICAR for branding. And if this project is multiplied, then very small entrepreneurship units can be initiated, and a better structure can be given. And a woman who is coming from her family, from the family of parents, to their in-laws, they can have a small food processing center, their own bagia. This is the place I own in the entire household. That kind of feeling, the attachment, that is there. The enterprise will be in their names. That is the empowerment, the entrepreneurship led empowerment and equity we are working on.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing the practical side of the pay and the ground level realities. Yes, as you said, if we can make them aware the what are the opportunities by sitting at their home itself, they can be empowered and they can start their own business is concerned. And there is nothing called small, medium, or the large scale. It's the intention of the women to start their own, and as you told, it will be owned in their own name, which creates a different feeling and the ownness, which one should experience it. And once you experience the feeling, you will never lose it and never intend to leave it also.
Yes. That is, please visit our area, our
Sure, ma'am.
institute, ma'am,
Sure,
anytime.
definitely, ma'am.
And I
We'll be
invite
most privileged.
everyone from the group to have an experience. So how we
Sure,
can
ma'am.
work with grassroots women. I am working since 4 decades due to superannuate next year.
Oh my
And
God.
but this is one of the best satisfaction I have achieved, that women are in the entrepreneurship, earning their own money, and spending that for revolving the fund for their own business and for the welfare of children.
That's the power of money.
Yeah, the power of money. And within having their own families, their livestock, everything, employment at doorstep, that is that gives you satisfaction. After 40 years of my service, I am retiring with a great satisfaction that what we have thought for years, we have worked for years, that has come on ground as a practical reality. And the
That gives
model needs to be multiplied.
that gives satisfaction, right? End of the day.
Huh. A model needs to be multiplied throughout India. That is one thing.
Sure, ma'am. We will try definitely our best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pratibha Tiwari, ma'am. Thank you for sharing such a wonderful experience of yours, and we could listen to you that you are such an expert to this particular thing, and you could share your what a valuable experience to our especially to our women participants in the group, not just to women, to everybody. So it was very thoughtful of you to share your experience, ma'am. So
Thank you,
thank you
thank you,
so.
thank you.
Ma'am, on the behalf of our team and our participants, I must convey a thanks to you, because, ma'am, this particular topic needs to be discussed, within some time, like time to time, it should be discussed, because sometimes we just go into a shell and we cannot just see like what is happening in the world and what could be the things that are for the woman. There are so many things, so we cannot see sometimes. So they just we just need a power pump to come out of the shell and do something. So it was that kind of session, ma'am. And as
Thank you so
Pratibha
much.
ma'am very well mentioned, like it was a very thoughtful and very much ignited session from your side, ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity from Just Agriculture. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you for joining, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, with this talk, we can call it a day now, and we will be meeting again tomorrow with the new sessions to come. So with this, have a nice day and good night.